FPL Game Week 34 team selection. In this video, as always, we're going to look at how my team fared in double Game Week 33, as well as how I'm lining up my team going into the blank Game Week 34, the second of the season so far. A lot of managers are, going to be activating their free hits. Some chips are going to be flying here and there. A few managers will be looking to use their triple captain as well. And Ishak versus Ipswich. So let's just dive right into the video. In game week 33, my team scored a total of 64 points. I did take a point hit in that game week to get an Arsenal defender. In goal, I had Alisson Becker. In the game against Leicester City, thankfully Liverpool were able to, hold on to that 1-0 win and, keep that clean sheet intact as well because they were a few, scares towards the dying minutes of the game where it looked like Leicester was going to equalize. So 6 points from Alisson in that game. I also had Munoz. A few of the players, or rather a few of the clubs doubled. We had Crystal Palace, Dublin, Manchester City, Dublin, Aston Villa, Arsenal. They all doubled in game week 33. I had Munoz, who played against Bournemouth and Arsenal, managed to return 6 points across the both games. Decent enough return, to be fair, considering that he could have also, gotten an assist in that game against Arsenal for the chance that Ismail Assar missed. So decent return enough for him from across 2 game weeks. Timber, 4 points from him. Really disappointing seeing that he was benched in the one game that Arsenal did keep a clean sheet in the double game week. Could have easily returned 10 points or more in that game. Also had his assist chopped off due to Martinelli's offside in their third goal that was ruled out. So it was just neither here nor there. I could have easily gone Kirill, but yeah, I just went for Timber looking at higher side of attacking returns if he did get to start. So 4 points from him. Milenkovic was my third defender, returned 2 points. Unfortunately, they also conceded in the dying minutes of that game against Tottenham from a Richarlison header. Really, 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 really painful to watch. When your clean sheets just get wiped out towards the tail end of the game. But yeah, in my midfield, I had Rogers, who returned an assist against Newcastle when they won 4-1 in the double game week. They hosted Newcastle and went away to Man City. 7 points from him across both fixtures. Yeah, Ismail Assar also had a double game week for Crystal Palace at home to Bournemouth and away to Arsenal. Didn't get any returns in that game against Bournemouth. Came off the bench in the game against Arsenal. Missed a beautiful sitter from Munoz pass. Could have easily gotten maybe 8, 9 points across both game weeks. But yeah, just the 3 points from him. Mohamed Salah not returning anything against Leicester. Honestly, he was really terrible to watch in that game. Missed a load of chances in that game because he easily returned a monstrous haul in that game. Seeing that Leicester are also, the weakest defensive side in the Premier League at the moment, we actually expected a really, really good haul from him. But like I've always said in my previous videos, Mo Salah in the running isn't the most reliable player. If you check the statistics over the past 3 seasons, he doesn't have that perfect form that he has when he starts the season and in the middle of the season. He doesn't usually carry that form towards the ending of the season. He just scores, here and there once in a while when it comes to the running. So I don't know. But yeah, Saka, um, really, really unfortunate for the Saka owners. To be honest, he started the game against Ipswich, could have easily gotten a goal and an assist in the first half. Still don't understand how he missed the chance that Merino, really, really beautiful pass from Merino, missed that chance, got subbed off in the second half, came from the bench in the Crystal Palace game and didn't return anything as well. So just 2 points from him across both games. Honestly, wouldn't have thought or imagined that I would be saying that about Saka in double game week. But yeah, up top, I had Mateta, who came off the bench in the game against Arsenal and scored the equalizer. Really beautiful finish from him after, dispossessing Saliba off the ball and, chipping it to the back of the post. Ishak, just the 2 points from him in the game against Aston Villa. A really, really great Aston Villa side in that game, fighting for the top 5 to gain UCL qualification. So it was really expected in that game. Ishak, nothing from him, just 2 points. Mamouche, across the 2 game weeks, couldn't return any goal involvement, but was my captain. So, 2 points across 4 points rather across the both game weeks, just the 8 points from him. I did activate my bench boost going into game week 33, so I had Areola on my bench who returned 3 points. He also saw his clean sheet get wiped out by Southampton in the 93rd minute. I can't tell you how many times Southampton have actually wiped out clean sheets in the past 9 game weeks, which is really frustrating because the goals that they score are really, really pointless. You just score and cancel clean sheets for no reason. But just the 3 points for Ariola, he was online for 10 points, which would have made my bench boost a massive success with a possible green arrow. But yeah, just the 3 points from him. Kerkers with 8 points in that game against Crystal Palace. Murphy returned just the 2 points, got subbed out early also in that game against Aston Villa. And Bon conceded 4, scored an own goal, returning -2 on my bench boost. My bench boost ended up returning just 11 points. So yeah, 60 points overall, a slight red arrow back to 215k overall world ranking. But yeah, still few decent positives to take going into the second blank game week of the season, blank game week 34, where I would be activating my free hits as I'm very very sure a lot of managers would be. So let's just take a look at how my team is shaping up going into the free hits game week 34. In goal at the moment, I just have a few players that are in this team that I believe are nailed in my team at the moment. I feel like I'm gonna make some rotation towards the deadline, either for the people I have on my bench, bring a couple of them into the starting lineup, or just make a few changes. But at the moment, I have Jose Sa in goal. He was just, we heard in the manager's press conferences that he has trained and he's fit to play that game against Leicester City. So he's going to be my starting goalkeeper. Like I said, Leicester have conceded the most goals in the Premier League. They're currently the worst defensive side. Wolves have gone on their best ever winning streak in Premier League history. They've won 5 games in a row. They are home in this game against Leicester. I see them getting an easy win in this game. Hopefully with a possible clean sheet for the Wolverhampton side. In defense at the moment, I have Ait Nuri. We know, his how massive his attacking returns can be. Like I said, Leicester conceded a lot of goals. A lot of them actually seem to come from the left hand side where he would be playing, moving up and down on that left wing. So I back him for something, maybe a double pointer. Double pointer is it's not out of the ordinary going into this game week. My second defender is Trippier at home to Ipswich. We know that we saw in the reverse fixture earlier in the season, we saw them, absolutely destroy Ipswich. I think it was 4-0 or 5-0. I really can't remember. But yeah, clean sheet. Trippier, just owning Trippier for the set pieces. He's on free kicks, he's on corners. He's nailed to start at the right back position. And there's every possibility that if they do want to sub him, if Newcastle are on a clean sheet at that time, it just, guarantees that, yeah, he's locked on the clean sheet when he goes out, either for Kraft or whichever player, Eddie Howe decides. Then my third defender at the moment is Van Dijk. Liverpool have a terrific record against Tottenham at Anfield, and this is the match that they need to win to clinch the Premier League title this weekend. So I think Liverpool are going to go all out in this game. Tottenham are terrible defensively. They've conceded in each of their last 9 games, if I'm not wrong. They are just terrible defensively, and I think they're going to have eyes on the Europa League as well. So we may see them rest players, and Liverpool are going to come into this game with full force. So there is actually a slim chance that there may be a clean sheet for Liverpool in this game. Van Dijk is also really, really good at attacking set pieces. We've seen Liverpool get a couple of corners, amassed a lot of corners actually in previous games leading up to this game week. So Van Dijk is actually not a bad option in a lot of people are stuck on the back and forth whether to own trends, whether not to own trends. Since coming back from injury, some managers are also on the Bradley train. I would rather just avoid the headache altogether and just get Van Dijk. So yeah, Van Dijk is going to be my third defender. In my midfield, I have Mo Salah, obviously, at home to Tottenham. In the reverse fixture, he returned 2 goals, 2 assists, and 21 points in that game. He currently is the obvious captaincy option, but it's still in the balance for me because Ishak also returned a hat trick and 17 points in the reverse fixture against Ipswich. But anyways, Salah is going to be in my team for that game against Tottenham. I also brought in Palmer. We've seen what Palmer's returns, his records against Everton is Tarkowski is out for the season, so that leaves a little bit of question mark on what their defensive stability is going to look like without him marshalling the centre back partnership with Brantwaite. So I think Palmer has been on really terrible form, but if there's any time to actually go against and just back him, it would be in this, kind of fixture at home for Chelsea when they're fighting for Champions League places as well. So honestly, I don't see it as a bad option to, keep Palmer in your team or get him in on your free hit draft or as a free transfer. I honestly think he has the potential to explode in this game. Chelsea have been shaky in previous games, but like I said, with Tarkowski out, that defensive solidity may not be there like he used to for Everton, and Chelsea may just be able to capitalize on that. I have a strong feeling that Palmer gets something in this game against Everton, so he's going to be my second midfielder going into this game week. My third, actually, at the moment, is between Barnes and Murphy. I'm really, 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 really conflicted on who I want to go with, just because we're how back on the sidelines, on in the touchline rather, he may decide to give Gordon the start in this game. And it's very, very much likely that he could actually do that. But at the same time, there's no reason for him to bench Murphy, right? Murphy has been really, really good. I think he's been one of their best players for the past 3, 4 months, you know, of this season. He has done nothing wrong to actually be pushed to the bench. And so the same thing can be said for Harvey Barnes. He has been excellent in their last 4 games since taking off the mantle with Gordon out injured. He has been really, really excellent for them. And this is a game where they would look to actually win with a really, really good and decent margin. So it's just really, really confusing deciding whether to go for Barnes. At the moment, I do have Barnes in my team, anyways, because he has that explosive nature to return a massive haul, which sometimes is just lacking in Jacob Murphy's game because he's not as direct and selfish as Barnes is when he's in front of goal. But yeah, Ipswich have also conceded the most goals off their left flank, and we also know that their left back, Lee Davis, is suspended for this game, which also increases the appeal for Murphy. So there's a lot of cases to be made for both of them. I could as well just bench bench him and start Diaz off my bench. Diaz has also been on terrific form for Liverpool, scoring or assisting in their last 5 games. So it's really tough. But I do think Barnes edges it and gets the start ahead of Gordon. He's in my team at the moment. Boemo is my fourth midfielder away to Nottingham Forest. We saw him return an 18-point haul in the previous game week. He has been a really terrific form alongside Wisa. I think this is his best FPL scoring season ever. Nottingham Forest have conceded, in a couple of games. Their last 7 games, I think they've conceded about 4, 5 times. So they haven't really been keeping clean sheets like we saw them keep towards the beginning and middle of the season. And currently, Mbuemo is on really great form. Wisa is on really great form. I back one of them to get, if not both of them actually, to get something in this game against Nottingham Forest. Um, yeah, up top, I have Ishak, who is my vice captain at the moment. It's a really tricky one, like I said, choosing who to go for. I don't really like Salah's running form, and Ishak himself hasn't really been on terrific form either. But it's just it's 50-50, right? It's just basically I feel pick your poison. At the moment, I am on Salah, vice captain is on Ishak, but I don't know. I just feel like Newcastle with Ishak, there's a chance, there's a probability for a higher explosive haul or a higher explosive return. But when you look at the Tottenham fixture and you just figure out that, yeah, they may as well start a second team because, they will all be focused on the Europa League game. It leaves a question mark on what kind of return Salah would likely, get in that game, seeing that he's also nailed on for 90 minutes, right? And on penalty duties as well. But at the moment, my captain is on Salah anyways. My vice is on Ishak. My second striker is Raul Jimenez. We saw that Muniz is going to be out for the game against Southampton, which means that Raul is most likely going to get a lot of minutes, hopefully 80 plus minutes, or he gets to finish the game, play full 90 minutes. He is on penalty duties when he starts. It's a tricky game against Southampton, as always. I'm also really conflicted because I really like the idea of getting Chris Wood. We saw him get a goal after coming back into the Nottingham Forest side. We saw him get that goal last in the previous game week against Tottenham. He could have easily gotten a brace, but he saw one of his goals get ruled out as well. So I really like the idea of Chris Wood. And Welbeck also has that appeal, seeing that João Pedro, got a red card and is suspended. So he has that appeal as well in the game against West Ham. And the Brighton West Ham game usually is a high scoring game. I fancy Welbeck in that position actually. So it's just really tricky, right? That's why I said it at the beginning of the video that there's still some positions that I'm not really certain of who I want in that position. But at the moment, I do have Raul Jimenez. It's just an easier fixture on paper, right? So Jimenez is my second striker. Cunha is my third striker. At home to Leicester. Cunha just absolutely terrific form for Wolves, but it's also a 50-50 call for him, right? Because Bellegarde is back, and Mr. Pereira did say in one of his press conferences that why change a team that is doing really well? Why change a winning team, right? And with all the speculations around Cunha's transfer to Manchester United, they may want to keep him on the bench, right? And go on with the team that has been doing really well just to kind of get used to the dynamic of not like playing with Cunha in the team, right? Get used to. But that it just depends on the narrative you want to go with. They may as well just decide to start their best player in the person of Cunha, right? And when he starts, he is on penalty duties as well. So it's just, it depends on the narrative you want to go with. At the moment, he's in my team. I may as well go for Strand Larson, right? Um, but yeah, Cunha is in my team at the moment. On my bench, I have Leno as my starting keeper away to Southampton. I was tempted to start him, but with Southampton's iffy record of, scoring late equalizers, just late goals against opponents, it's really pushing me off, starting Leno or even having any defensive Fulham assets. It's why I didn't have, Sessegnon or Robinson in my starting lineup. My first midfielder on my bench is Luis Diaz. Like I said, really, really terrific form for Liverpool. Returns in his last 5 games for them. My first defender is Cucurella. He has 7 goals so far this season for Chelsea. He always finds a way to get into the box, get those attacking returns for Chelsea. So he's really, really, been doing really well for Chelsea this season. He's one of my defenders. I feel like there's even a possibility for a Chelsea clean sheet in this game. And then my third defender is Milenkovic at home to Brentford. I don't see Nottingham Forest keeping a clean sheet in this game, but then again, it's Forest, right? They are fighting for Champions League positions as well. A win in this game would push them back to third position on the table. So they have all to play for, really. Milenkovic is really, really great at attacking the set pieces as well. So it's a 50-50 in that game. But I honestly, in my own point of view, I don't see them keeping a clean sheet in that game against Brentford. So yeah, this is what my team looks like. My free hit Gameweek 34 team. My captain, like I said, is on Salah. My vice is on Ishak, but that may as well change depending on what narrative I decide to go with ahead of the deadline. There are a few positions as well in my team that I may be looking to change a few players, just shake a few things around. But a few players are nailed in this team, likes of Ishak, Cunha, Salah, Palmer, Mbuemo, Ignuri, Trippier, and my goalkeeper. So just a few positions here and there that I'm going to be looking at, doing a little bit of tinkering. But yeah, this is what my team looks like. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll do well to get back to them as soon as I can. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. If you did enjoy the video, like it, share, and I will see you guys in the next FPL video.